Hey everybody, it's Monday. I hope you guys had a good Monday. I had a exciting Monday. It was one of those days that you wake up and you just like you're ready to go. Once you get there, you're like you are now ready to go, right? You're ready to go home. So yeah, great day, but definitely definitely glad I'm now here with you guys. I got David McNiner, my co-host, and I got Korey Davis, our special guest, who will always be featured on the show. We are going to be talking a little bit of football today. We've been doing this part one, two, and three. Now we're on, I think, part three now, and we'll have another episode where we clarify all of our teams. But for right now, we are going to be concentrated on special teams, and it's not going to be the most elaborate special teams you ever heard about. It's one of those special teams where you know we got a good idea of what we want. So I hope you stay with us, and let me pass it to David. David, how are you?
I'm great. It's another Monday, and today was an interesting day at work. I ended up tearing apart a machine, and shout out to apprentices. You guys got to quit dropping stuff in the machine and slamming it through the chip conveyor, and that's pretty much that.
Yep. I used to work in a poultry plant, and it was funny because the maintenance guys never seemed to go work any. They never worked. You always seen them standing behind you, looking at their phone, going to the locker room. They're sitting there at the table. They got their walkie-talkie. They got their helmet on, like they're ready to go, and you always just see them sitting there, right? And then you go into the cafeteria. They got their food before you, and you're like, man, these guys like they know how to get to the locker room. They know how to get their cafeteria food. You know what else do these guys get over? Or like, I mean, do they have like secret keys or something? Like they know secret routes in the factory or something, right? Well, when it broke, that's when you had like 10 of them run up because they weren't doing anything, but all 10 of them would run up and try to fix the conveyor belt or try to do something. And usually it's owner, operator, or operator, fault. Usually it's something that the operator was doing too heavily or rough on, and then now the maintenance guy's got to come in and put the new control in, a new motor in real quick, and hey, it's production time, so we gotta go. So while everybody else is sitting back and they're having fun, just BSing it. After a couple hours, companies like to send people home, and that's not fun for anybody. But you go to work and you're supposed to be there so many hours. Yeah, it's nice to go home, but when your check's smaller at the end of the week, that's not fun. So a couple times people got upset because we kept breaking down. You keep breaking down, you can't operate. And after so many times you've heard this guy talk so much, and now you're ready to do something else. So yeah, shout out to maintenance guys. When they're on it, they're on it. They can fix it, get the job done, and get everybody back up and running. And I do now have a new found respect for them because at first, again, you always just see them standing around, but when something breaks, they seem to multiply and come in swarms. So, Corey, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. I had a little dizzy spell at Dallas today, uh, but I'm doing good. We got to go to Dallas early. Got to go at 7 o'clock. Got there about 10 something. But it was a little nerve wracking because I got a little dizzy spell, and I was trying to drink some water, and I spilled the water all over me. Like my hands started shaking. Other than that, good.
Yeah, that's not well. I'm glad you're doing good now. Yeah, definitely. Oh, everybody, if you didn't see the Friday night show, Corey, that's a good point to bring up. Friday night show was National Dehydration Day, so make sure you tell somebody to drink some water. It's getting closer and closer to summertime. I don't think that's all that Maybe you need a little bit more than just water, Corey. But yeah, everybody who's listening right now at work, or even if you're home and hopefully being able to enjoy a beverage, make sure you drink something, and not just water is important to drink. It
Yeah,
really is. Sodas, sure, soda wets your whistle, beer does. And people are like, well, it's what 90% water or 98% water. No, drink some water, and it really is. And drink, it's important to, and it's one of those things that helps clean your body. It helps clean your soul. It really does makes you feel better, gives you a little bit more energy. And with the summer coming, it's really important. That's something like that. A lot of football teams and sport teams and baseball players, they have to make sure that track. A lot of kids in high school and stuff like that. That's very important that they make sure that they you get water. At Stag, when I went to high school, they made sure that they built this sprinkler system that they just hooked up to the water hose, but it was always running, so you could just run over there and get a drink of water real quick because it's not fun getting heat stroke, and it is not. Corey, have you ever had heat stroke?
No, I know some people that did.
Yeah, it's not fun. You get sick to your stomach. You get
Yeah,
sick all over. It really takes a long time to recover from it, and it's kind of like having a sunburn, but feeling it on the inside more. It really is. But
you know what's funny?
what's funny?
Back in the days, you be outside playing. Sometimes you don't want to go inside your house, so you grab the water hose. People don't do that no more.
No, no, for a couple reasons. The water does taste a little different. Maybe the
Yep,
pipes are older, maybe they're
yep,
just 20 years older. But the water hoses are made with different rubber now, and
yep,
it tastes really nasty. It tastes horrible. You used to be able to just grab a water hose and put it up to your mouth and drink a little bit of water and then keep playing. But um, no, not the water hoses nowadays. They taste like rubber, and they taste worse than rubber, like like I don't know, like I won't do it. David, will you do it? Are you drinking out of a new water hose now?
No,
No.
no, they're made out of a different material. They do taste funny. On
Yeah.
top of that, the wherever you get your water from, it seems like they're adding a little more chemical in it.
yeah.
Just that's something I noticed when I drink like a cup of water out of the faucet. It's like so. If you can actually buy a good water filter though for that,
Yeah.
and it'll clean it out.
Yeah, you can get you one of those little Brita things and put it on it and put it on your faucet, or you can fill your water up and put it into the Brita container, put it into the refrigerator. Yeah, I tell you what, there's nothing like cold ice water. But yeah, David, have you ever had heat stroke?
Once or twice, the place I worked at for 19 and a half years, um, I was the resident painter. Well, I did like all kinds of stuff there, but I was like the resident painter. So their paint booth, there's no air conditioning in that building because it was also a plating shop. So, if you AC'd the building, then all of a sudden you're destroying all kinds of equipment. It was kind of weird. But so the paint booth was 10 degrees hotter than it is outside. And I was in a sealed suit with a fresh air supply pumping hot air right in my face. So yeah, I did suffer from heat sickness a few times.
Horrible, horrible, horrible. It's
Mm,
it's not a fun feeling at all. So yeah, if you know any athletes, if you are working outside, even if you're working indoors, it's really important to make sure you drink water. I have a coworker and he sits inside. He sits inside and he has an AC on all the time. He drinks more than I do. I don't know if it's the AC that's making him thirsty. The constant air blowing on him. But yeah, it's very important to make sure that you have the right nutrition and the right water, because really our body's what 70% water, something like
Yep.
that. So
Yep.
all right, well, we got a really cool chat. We got East Coast Red and Gold podcast. If you know her, she's a great lady. This is Jess. She's got a great panel. Please go and check her channel out on Wednesdays. Bebop, one of the great fellow faithful, one of our great friends of the community. We got Ballin' It Up, aka Steve-O. Hope you had a good day at work, Steve-O. And we got Bebop Jones. he said he got sick once in a concrete factory. So that's yeah, that's not too cool. And he said he has a suit. He has a suit on too. So yeah, definitely. There's some jobs that you get really hot in.
Yep.
And then yeah, it's gonna be a really good chat. I used to work in a factory, a welding factory, and you guys know what those blizzard suits are. You can go get them at like Walmart. You know, the full zip up suits that are insulated. Well, me and my brother, we kept getting burnt at work. There was just sparks everywhere and all kinds of different stuff. And, so we were like, we're not getting burnt anymore. And it was wintertime. So we go and get us, my dad got him a set. And we went to work with him on. And you know what? I had more padding. So when I hit the frame, I got up on the product. I didn't get bruised. There was just a little bit more protection. When it got to summertime, I got really hot. But I learned to work in it, and I got used to it. And I had a zipper, so I'd unzip in the front a little bit to get air. But yeah, you have to be comfortable, and you definitely have to make sure that you do get water when you need water. So, all right, I've talked enough about water. Before we get moving on, should we ask everybody: is water wet? That's too funny. So yeah, if you haven't seen the question or if you haven't heard it, there's great YouTube out there. There's all kinds of videos about is water wet. So we're not going to break that down, but we'll let you guys decide on your own. Korey, how do you want to break this off? Do you want to kick off? Well, we might as well kick off if we're starting out, right?
Yep.
Okay, so folks, welcome to the show. We will be talking a little bit about special teams. And why don't we let the chat decide what kicker of the 49ers do you want us to use for our special teams? Do you want to use Phil Dawson? Do you want to use Joe Nedney? Do you want to use Robbie Gould, Dave Akers, Wade Ritchie? Who do you guys want? So we'll give everybody a couple minutes, and then if you guys have an idea, let's hear yours, and then we'll see what the chat says.
Can we go after our free agents? Like, he's not playing no more. He's retired though. He's played with New Orleans, their best kicker. Our last name is Anderson, I believe. Can't think of his first name.
Morton.
Morton.
That brings me back. Because I think he played for the Falcons and then the Saints, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that?
Yep.
So there's Morton Anderson and then there's Gary Anderson, right? Two different people, right?
Yep.
Gary Anderson was the one who missed the field goal against for the Vikings against the Falcons, right?
Yep.
I believe, I could be wrong, but one of them, and I want to say it was Gary Anderson, was on the 49ers in like 1995, 96. We only had him for like 1 year. So, all right, so it looks like ANCRE. Who's that? Don't know who that is. Sorry, balling it up. But all right, so Phil Dawson, Dave Akers, Joe Nedney. What's your vote, David?
I would go with Joe Nedney.
All right.
Yep. I have some fond memories of that guy.
Korey, what do you think? Are you okay with us going with Joe Nedney?
Joe Nedney. I'm trying to think how he kicked. How good was he? I guess I gotta go with him. I don't remember.
Yeah, Joe Nedney, what was he? He was before Harbaugh, I believe, because I think we had Phil Dawson on the team when we had Harbaugh. So yeah, let's go Joe Nedney. All right, I'm gonna write him down. All right, so let's explain it to everybody. When you have kickoff, you have players, on the field. You have 11 players on the field. You typically have your kicker in the middle of the field, and he's usually stood back maybe 5 to 7 yards, so he can have more of a running start. Now, the job for everybody on special teams is that they have to stay still. They have to stay completely still before the kicker kicks the ball. There might be one player on the field that can move, and usually that's either the spotter or sometimes in different Pop Warner and in high school, college, they call this position different, but they call it kickoff general. And sometimes you'll have a guy standing up there next to the ball and his arms will be out there up in the air. And then his job is to drop his arms when the ball's kicked. When the ball's kicked, that's when everybody can take off running. So sometimes that'll happen. So typically, if you don't have a kickoff general, but because this is the NFL, we don't really have a kickoff general, but usually they're the ones right next to the kicker. It depends really the preference of the kicker, because sometimes kickers want the guy on the opposite side of their leg. So, but then you have so you have your kicker and you got your, let's just say, your spotter or kickoff general. You have your inside guys; they're like gunners. And then you have guys that are, basically every one of them on the outside could be considered a gunner. There's coverage, there's coverage guys, and there's gunners. And basically what their job is to do is run down there as fast as possible, right? You might have a couple of slower guys in the inside closer to the kickers, and they're going to run down and take up some of those blocks from some of the bigger guys on kickoff return. And the idea is they run down, they get hit by the bigger guys, and then you have some of your faster guys, your coverage guys, who can slip behind and then make the tackle. So, all right. So we got that covered out. Then the kickoff is usually also at the beginning of the game, and it's also done at halftime, after halftime, and it's done every time there is a NFL score for a field goal, a safety, if there's not a turnover, but it's got to be a touchdown. It could be, and it can also happen after a missed field goal. Not a missed field goal, but a missed extra point. If you miss a field goal, the team takes possession of the ball where that ball is kicked out. Okay, so if we're going to start filling in some of these gunners and some of these coverage guys, usually you got to have a couple fast guys. And one of the fast guys that we've had recently was like Mostert. And he's been on 6 or 8 different NFL teams. And the reason he stayed on our team is he made it off of the practice squad onto our special teams kickoff coverage. Why? Because he was fast, he could run down there, and he could tackle. So we're going to put Mostert on our list. Guys, let's hear another good fast player that it doesn't really matter if they're 2000s, they could be in the 90s, but let's throw some players on this kickoff squad to make it a little bit aggressive, a little bit special.
Well, I will put my man Deion Sanders out there
on kickoff or kickoff return.
Oh, kickoff return on kickoff returns. I'll put Deion.
All right, we'll go ahead and write that down now. But yeah, if you had somebody that you needed to send down to make a tackle. Like, would you put Jimmy Ward on it? Would you put Culver on it? Dante Hittner?
Oh boy, who was a good tackler? Usually on special teams, I remember. Who would go down there and he'd be down there making tackles all the time.
I mean, when it comes to gunners, I don't know. I'm trying to think, like, because we've had a lot of different guys do that,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I would say somebody that would be probably pretty safe to put on it, is Mostert. Let's throw like Jimmy. What is it? Jimmy. Mr. Jimmy Johnson.
Ward?
The guy Jimmy Ward would be great to put on it. We'll just put Jimmy Ward on it. I was trying to say the guy who always makes our special teams, our practice squad.
Johnson.
Yeah, Dante Johnson.
Dante.
He's a safe guy, right? We got to put him on the team somewhere. We'll leave him.
Dante Johnson is like a bad penny. He always turns up.
He always turns up, right? Hey, shout out to Melissa. She just showed up. Thank you for coming, Melissa. Appreciate you. We were just talking a little bit of 49er football, going over different things. And we got our guy, YTC. What's up? Thanks for coming, YTC.
YTC, what's up?
Hey, Izzy, yo, YTC, what's going on, buddy? But yeah, I mean, when it comes to believe it or not, did you know the Niners had two guys that were among the top league leaders in special teams tackles last year?
They should probably be
Safety
on
George Odom and
Okay.
linebacker Demetrius Flanagan Fowles.
George Odom.
Yep.
And then Fowles. So,
Yep.
All right, so we got 4 guys, 5 guys with our kicker. So let's keep moving down the list. I think we got to put him on the list. I really do. Dante Johnson. If we can't figure somebody out, he goes on. He'll be number 11 if we can't figure somebody out. But I think we can do. I think we can get it to it. We got to have somebody who can tackle. We got Jimmy Ward. He can tackle, and that's a solid pick. You know, I know he didn't play for the team for very long. And I know he was afraid of concussions, and it'd probably be funny to put him on. Funny in a weird way. Would you guys be objective to putting Chris Borland on the team on kickoff?
No, that guy had 100+ something tackles.
Yep.
You know, in his rookie season, and then he chose to retire. But you know,
I would say because he's a rookie, he probably did play some special teams, at least even in practice. So let's put him on our list because this is just a fun list, and we're building a really good team right now. So we're gonna put Chris Borland on. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, Chris is on the team now. Now, usually they don't always put like long snappers on kickoff, but they usually put up backup tight ends and stuff like that. So we have like people like Selleck, we have people like Warner, we have people like Dwelly, we have people like Delaney Walker. You guys getting any vibes like that, or should we keep thinking? I like linebackers too being on kickoff because they're big usually, but we gotta have the fast guys on the outside, big guys in the middle. So right now we're just getting our numbers, but
yeah, I put Walker out there.
Delaney Walker out there, like on the edge, or would you put him in the middle?
Put him almost like in the middle.
All right.
He was pretty quick on his feet.
Yep.
So I'd definitely put him in there.
Sometimes players want to contribute. They want to play, so it's not like, oh, you got to play on special teams. No, some guys volunteer to play. So we are at position 7. We need 8, 9, 10, 11. We need 4 more guys.
We also need a long snapper, don't we?
But we'll move to that because in special teams you have 4 phases. So right now we're doing the kickoff, and then we'll move to kickoff return. So what do you guys think about Culver or Dante Whitner or Deshaun Goldson, or is that too scary to put players like that on it? I know Patrick Lewis.
Deshaun Goldson.
Golson, all right.
He did play special teams early in his career. So that wouldn't be a bad idea.
All right. Yeah. Okay, so number 9, we need probably another fast guy or maybe another nice sized big guy. My
man played special team out there. Our fullback, he played special teams one time.
Bruce Miller. You talking that Bruce Miller guy?
Yep.
Yeah, we could put Bruce out there.
He was a defensive end, and he actually switched to fullback for the Jim Harbaugh era, if I remember right.
Yeah, he was a pretty good player. He had an incident in a restaurant, I believe, but we don't have to talk about that. We're just talking about what he did on the field, right? So 10 and 11, we need 2 more players. So, let's see what the chat says. Does the chat have any ideas? Nice to see you, Brian and John and Jay linked up. Yeah, we got to meet Tom Grossi, and I got to meet John Jay. It was really, really cool. Give him a big old hug. And then, we got John here too now. Thank you for coming, John. And then, chat's popping. Tony's in the chat. Bebop, John
Got
Jay.
Crazy Juice. What's up, buddy?
Yeah. Thank you for coming, Crazy Juice. Haven't seen you for a little while. Always appreciate seeing you.
That dog just pulled up.
What? We are here with royalty, guys. Hey, this guy. If you guys didn't get a chance to see it, I know we were all having fun last night together. So if you got a chance to go back and rewatch it, but this guy had Larry Krueger on his show. Larry Krueger. And he held his own. Beto holds his own against everybody. Everybody knows that already. But I mean, like, the guy gave him some good questions, and Beto was able to really answer him. And he also asked some really good questions back. So hey, shout out to Beto. So if you guys get a chance, check that stream out with Brandon and I'm blanking on the other guy's name. David, do you know the other man's name on Forever?
Brandon.
Well, there's Brandon Ferrigno, and who's his co-host?
That was Christian.
Christian, thank you. Sorry, Christian. They're a really good show too. Check them out and like and subscribe. They're like Batman and Robin. You guys can decide who's Batman, but I'm Batman.
Christian really wanted us to get Baker Mayfield bad last season. Bad. It was like, what?
Well, see, if we would have got Baker Mayfield, right? I don't think the whole locker room would have loved it, but I think he would have been able to step in when we didn't have a quarterback in play. But the question is would he have tried to voice his opinion and say he should have started over Purdy? I don't think anybody was going to start over Purdy. And I think they even tried to go after Roethlisberger. And they asked Roethlisberger to come in and play backup. And he said no, he wants to start. And he's not going to start for the 49ers because, he's a Steeler. So shout out to Big Ben for sticking with your team.
Shanahan would have sat Mayfield because he doesn't know the offense.
No, he wouldn't have played. He wouldn't have played. So, I mean, like Josh Johnson, the only reason he came to our team because he had been in the system for multiple times with, Shanahan. So, look forward to seeing him in camp. He'll be a camp arm. No, actually, he signed with the Eagles. I'm so sorry. Yeah, so if anybody was interested in hearing about him, he's now in Philadelphia, ironically. That's really funny.
That is really funny. It's like, hey, we knocked this guy out of the game and we made him look like a deer caught in the headlights. Let's sign him.
So, all right. So we need two more players. And really quickly, we have Mostert, Jimmy Ward, George Odom. We have Fowles. I can't say the beginning. David, can you say Demary Fowles' full name?
It's Demarius Flanagan Fowles.
Thank you. Then we have Joe Nedney as our kicker. We have Chris Borland on our kickoff team as well. We have Delaney Walker. We got Goldson. We got Bruce Miller out there. Guys, do we put Brian Jennings out there? I know he's the long snapper, but do we want to hold off on making our?
He was also a backup tight end, so yeah, we could put him out there.
All right, I like that. I really like that. The other day when I found out he was on our team for 12 years, I'm like, what? So Brian Jennings. That's awesome. Okay, so number 11, Corey. Who do you want to put on this this kickoff team? They gotta be fast.
Kickoff team, and they gotta be fast.
They gotta be fast. They gotta be fast, or they can be big. We got enough people we can move around.
They gotta be fast. Well, let's put our man out there, Danny Gray.
Hey, that's not a bad idea. That's
He
not a bad
was.
idea at all. I like that.
He was playing gunner at the end of last season. So and doing a good job of it. I mean, he was up. He was up the field in people's faces.
All right. Okay, so we got our kickoff team. Okay, now we need to build our kickoff return team. So, Corey, can you give us a little bit of details on your kickoff returner? I think you said prime time, right?
Yeah, because he on kickoff return he does better than I was thinking of John Taylor, but I was looking at John Taylor's record of kickoff returns is not as good. You know, he is mostly like a punt returner. But Dion, he had on kickoff returns, he had where is I saw that. See, Dion has so much a long list because he's so much a versatile player. He
Yeah.
plays every position he can play. Where did I see that? Why is it's hard for me to find that? Oh, here it
Wants
is.
to put Dion, Mister 4240.
See, on kickoff returns, he had 3,523 yards. And on punt returns, he only had 2,199. But on kickoff returns, that's where he killed it.
That's where he made his money, huh?
See, John Taylor only had 200, 276 yards on kickoff returns. And punt returns, he had 1,517.
All right, so we got Dion in the back returning, and what we need now is we typically need five. This isn't the hands team. This isn't a special kickoff unit. This isn't for onside kicks or anything like that. This is just a typical kickoff team, kickoff return team. So receiving, you usually need three lines. You need five blockers inside the 45-yard line. Then you need 4 to 5 blockers between the 30 and 25. So what they're saying is you have five in the front, then you can put 4 or 5 in the middle. If you put 4 in the middle, then you can put 2 returners in the back, or you could put like typically like maybe a blocker or something in the back, and he's not necessarily the designated returner, but it's going to be 5, 5, and 1, or we can go 5, 4, and 2. So it depends on you guys. Do you want to do 2 returners in the back?
Hmm. It would be nice to do two.
Let's do
But we
2.
got we got John Taylor back there
All right.
to
Taylor's back
feed
there.
them. You know, they be trying to kick away from one of them. Keep the ball, get to one of them.
I like it. I like it. I like it. All right. So we got Taylor in the back with Dion. Oh boy, they are not going to like seeing us. Okay, so now we need guys in the middle of the field, guys that can block. So sometimes you put tight ends out there, but a
Yep.
lot of times, yeah, usually you do put tight ends out there and you put linebackers out there because they're
Mm,
typically guys that got to catch, and then you got to be able to whack somebody too. They
yep.
need to be able to block too. So I want to put Jeff Ulbrich in the middle, but we'll wait to come up to him. I got a good feeling about putting him in the middle. Okay, David, let's start with you. Who would you like to put in the row one, right there when they kick off the ball? One of the first 5 blockers.
George Kittle.
You want George Kittle in the front blocking?
Dude, who's better?
Okay, I like it. I like it. Okay. All right. Corey, who would you like?
Um, I go with the juice.
That's not a bad idea either. Both of these guys can catch. Okay. Wow. I'm trying to think right now because the way you guys are setting it up, We gotta have similarity. Let's go ahead and
Oh, lost one.
David, come back. David, come back.
What was that?
All right. So, can
Hmm.
we put Delaney Walker on this side too, or is that too much?
Yep.
We can do that.
Yep.
What about Garrett Seelick?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's put Selleck out there.
Seelick. Eh.
Selleck time, and oh wow, yeah. Let's wow, guys. Can we put Julian Peterson out there?
Yep.
Oh yeah, that guy can tackle.
Because sometimes, again, these guys want to play. They don't like standing on the sidelines. They don't like getting cold. They want to get out there. They want to be able to hit somebody. They want to do it in a different way than what's scripted in the plays. And sometimes you got to get out there and you got to make a difference somewhere. Shout out to Jeff Garcia. Jeff Garcia, quarterback, but every time he went to play for the 49ers and in other games for other teams, he always liked to go out there and get hit. It sounds weird, right? Well, he liked to hit somebody too. It was like, once he, give out that first hit, or he laid into somebody a little bit, he felt like, hey, he's ready. The game started, like his head's in the game now. So sometimes, people on kickoffs and stuff like that, that's a good opportunity for those people to get those itches, those things out for themselves. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We need one more, Corey, and I'm kind of blanking right now. I got so many thoughts, but what's your thought?
Um. Uh.
Could we put Kinlaw out there?
um.
No, let's not put
Nah.
Kinlaw. But that would be that would be bad. But we want to put the ultimate team together, right? So shout out to the chat. If anybody's got an idea for our fifth special teams kickoff return blocker, throw it out. We will.
What about Vance McDonald?
Let's
Yep.
do it. Let's do it.
Traded him to the Steelers, but he's still pretty good tight end.
Okay, so it looks like we have George Kittle, Juice, Selleck, Julian Peterson, and Vance McDonald. I think that's a fire. I think that's really, really good kickoff return because if they did do something like surprise onside kick, we got Kittle who can catch, we got Juice who can catch, Selleck can catch, Julian Peterson can catch, and we got Vance McDonald. I'm like, come on, guys. And all of those guys, every one of them's big. So you got to run through a wall to get through somebody.
Yep.
Okay, so here we got the guys in the middle. And typically, I think they're usually like guys that sit there and wait for somebody to come by so they can just pop them off. On kickoff return, you don't really start running. Your job is to stand there and block. You block for the kicker, the kick returner, right? When you start feeling him, or you get that moment where he's moving up, you start moving up. And kickoff return is a little bit different than kickoff because you got like maybe your feet under your ground, right? Where when you're kickoff, and you're going down to make the tackle, you're running as fast as you can. So these guys are more planted and they have an opportunity to maybe really like unleash. There's opportunities, or maybe just move out of the way, and you're running so fast you lost all sight of them and everything. So these guys is mainly jobs are really to get in your way and stay in front of the returner, so the returner can run as far as he can, and when he sees his hole or his gap, he can just take off from there, right? So that's why a lot of returners, they will stay behind their blockers for a short period of time and then boom. So I like it. So I wanted to say Jeff Ulbrich. I think he was a good linebacker for the 49ers, and I'd like to put him on it. And I know he was a starter, but I think he could make a real good impact for our special teams here?
You know, I don't like this guy because his dirty ways.
Bill Romanowski.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right, Mr. McNiner.
So we talking like linebacker style? I was gonna say Roger Craig because he played fullback, but
Hey, no, whoever your suggestion is to put in there, I was just kind of laying out the blueprint. Like normally, sometimes they'll put linebackers in that spot because they're typically able to physically run and keep up with like the returner, and they're big enough to block and make holes. But if they got to sit there and take a hit because the gunner's running through, they could put some damage on somebody because they're standing there waiting for the return. That was my point. But
I'm actually gonna say Roger Craig because he did start out at fullback. So
and I like that because if they kick the ball short, he could field it from the middle and still return it.
Yeah.
So again, all these guys on special teams, when you're on special teams, you're there because you're special, right? You have to be able to catch. You have to be able to catch. If you can't catch, you're not on special teams. You really aren't. Because what happens if they kick it and it comes to you? You have to be able to catch it or jump on it. You don't necessarily have to be the fastest guy, but you got to come up with possession. Because on kickoff, the difference between kickoff and punts, if people don't know, when you kick off the ball, that ball is live.
Yep.
Live. Even with the new rule change, if these guys try to fair catch it and they don't catch the ball, if they like wait for it and the ball goes past them and they don't go pick up the ball and we go pick up the ball, it's our ball. It's our ball. So if somebody like Jake Moody goes and kicks the ball and he kicks it really high up in the air and the guy's got sun in his eyes and he's waving it off and it rolls and gets pinned into the 2, we pick up the ball, we can walk right into the end zone. It's a live ball. But the difference on punts is when they punt the ball, if they kick it high and the guy misses the catch, if it doesn't touch his body, if it hits the ground, when we go and touch the ball, it's down at that point. It's right there. So if nobody knew about the difference, but that's the difference between punters and kickers and kickoff coverage. So I'm excited. I'm really excited because he can catch the ball, David. So, Korey, do you have another player similar to that we could possibly put for our final spot? And shout out to Eric Wallace. I see you. Thank you very much for coming.
Good, Eric.
So Eric, Frank the Tank Gore. Nah, he never played special teams.
Well, Raheem Mostert actually did, but
yeah.
Mostert wouldn't be a bad idea. So if we're undecided at this point, would you guys what would you guys put Debo on it?
Too valuable to the offense.
Because I know he likes
Jordan Mason actually had a special teams niche. That's why he was active and TDP wasn't.
Let's put Jordan
Brandon Ayuk.
Okay, so let's think about this one a little longer. Because if we put a wide receiver there like Brandon Ayuk, he could be potentially another returner, but he has to be able to block. And we know Brandon Ayuk can, and we had other 49ers who could do that. If we put like Debo back there, he could get hurt, but anybody could get hurt at any time. But the thing about we already have Debo. If we put Debo there, we already have Dion and we have John Taylor back there. So I don't think Debo is going to be the returner with those two guys on the field. If they kick it short, then yeah. But the reason I threw him out there is because he's thick, and he does run, and he can push people over because of his size. I like what you said about Mostert because he's fast too. And he could block.
Well, I mean, what about fullbacks like Tom Rathman or William Floyd from back in the day?
We could put Floyd or Fred Beasley.
Yeah,
Floyd used to pancake guys that were like 3 times the size. I mean,
I think we're putting William Floyd. Korey, do you like that?
Yeah.
All right, William Floyd. Okay, so let's go over it real quick for everybody. On our kickoff, we have Mostert, we have Jimmy Ward, George Odom, Flanagan, Flaus. I'm so sorry. I ever meet you, I'll apologize. I'm so sorry. Our kicker is Joe Nedney. We have Chris Borland on our kickoff coverage. We have Delaney Walker. We have Goldson. We have Bruce Miller, Brian Jennings, and we have Danny Gray. So that's our kickoff coverage squad, guys. For our return, kickoff return, we have George Kittle. We have Juice. We have Garrett Selleck, if you guys, everyone here, I believe, knows. We have Julian Peterson. Shout out Bebop Jones. I see you there. We got Vance McDonald. That's in our first 5. Okay. So then we opted to put 4 guys in the middle of our kickoff. And that gives us the opportunity to put 2 guys back for our returners. So from left to right, we have Jeff Ulbrich, Bill Romanowski. Ooh, guys, who's going to get to wear 53?
Bill Romanowski.
Because Ulbrich wore 53 too, didn't he?
Yeah. But Bill Romanowski, he's a veteran, so he gets it.
All right, so Jeff Ulbrich, Bill Romanowski, Roger Craig made our middle, and we put William Floyd. And I think we could move that position around a little bit, but for the 4 guys in the middle for our coverage unit, those guys can block, those guys can catch, and they definitely can make some noise. And then Corey, who do we got back there returning again?
Deion Sanders and John Taylor.
Yes. Mr. McNiner, would you tell everybody Deion Sanders' stats as a returner and a kicker if you have a chance? And then I think Corey said to his how many yards did you say he had? 2,000. I'm sorry, Corey.
He had 2,000. He had 2,523.
For all the teams combined, right? For Atlanta, for all the teams you played for. Okay. Let's see. Do you know how many kickoff touchdowns he had or punt return touchdowns he had during his career? And if you don't know, it's okay. But that's the reason we were putting Deion back there is because that's how he made his money, guys. That's how he's known as Showtime. Maybe that and a little bit of picking off the ball there once or twice, right?
22 touchdowns, they say.
22 touchdowns. So for a returner, he came in and scored 22 in his career. That's why he's in the Hall of Fame, right? He's a good player. And shout out to Deion if you guys can pray for him. He's going through some stuff, some health issues, and hopefully he can get better so he can stay on his feet. So please pray for Deion. And then we also have John Taylor back there. And David McNiner, I should have asked you this one. Will you pull up John Taylor's stats as a kick returner or punt returner and tell us how many touchdowns he had or any yardage that you potentially can come up with? Okay. I'm sorry, Corey, you have that stat as well?
John Taylor had, for a kick return, he had 276 yards. And they don't give the touchdowns.
Okay.
And for a punt return, he had 1,517.
Yep.
So I think this is a good question for you, David. That sounds like that's a lot of numbers. Is John Taylor our leading returner for the 49ers?
He's actually not. He's our second. And I think our all-time leading returner, I don't know. I don't think he's from even the 80s era. I think he was before that.
I believe so.
I'm going to look that up.
I believe you're right. And I could be wrong, but his jersey might be retired if it's the same guy I'm thinking of. But it could be, so if you can pull up his jersey number 2 when you get that second. Corey, David, man, I think we put together a really good kickoff team. And if the chat, if you guys are staying with us, we appreciate you. We're going to move from here after a couple, good conversations about some stats for our players. We're going to move from kickoff to punt return. So again, thanks for coming, and hope you guys all had a good day at work or a day in general. And if you got something to drink and you have a beverage, please make sure you drink something. And if you haven't drank water today, make sure you drink water because it's important, especially with the seasons changing. So David, do you have those stats?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna say it, folks. 5G sucks. Oh, it might actually be the phone. It might actually be the phone. I might just have to go get a new phone that is built for it, right? So, wow, what is this guy's first name? It just says D. McLemore. Dana McLemore. Birth date 1960. Oh wow, he was 82. 1982, round 10. Wow, shout out to having a whole bunch of rounds in the NFL draft. That's insane. That means he was on the team when John Taylor was on the team. But his punt return yards, he had 1,531 in 69 games. They credit John Taylor to 121 games, but I bet a lot of those were wide receiver.
So before we go too much further, should we change one of our kick returners, or do we leave it alone? Just like leave it alone. It's not broken. Don't fix it.
I think we should leave it alone. Deion Sanders and John Taylor is a great combo back there.
Because I think too, it's not necessarily about all the points or all the stats. It's about putting good players in good positions, and I think that's what we did. We got players on this team right here, right now. If we walked onto any football field, our special teams is going to win hands down. Hands down. All right, so let's jump into our punters. There's a lot of great punters out there, but we're going to try to keep it really simple for everybody. If any of you want to throw out a punter in the chat, we'll take them as consideration. But the two punters that come to my mind right now is Bradley Pinion and three. We could throw Mitch Wisnowski out there, but I think he's just a little too new. So we got Andy Lee and we have Bradley Pinion. And we have Mitch Wisnowski. So, Corey, what do you think? Do you want to throw out another punter, or would you like to vote out of those three?
Vote out of them three.
I love it. I love it. David, do you like the combination, or do you want to pick out of a different cast?
I say vote out of those three. Okay. I already know who I'm picking because there was a point in time where he was our only Pro Bowler.
So do we just put our hands up and say Andy Lee?
Yes,
okay.
I think so.
Okay. Corey, are you okay with that?
Yep.
All right. And shout out to Lee, my wife's maiden name. So no bias, she's a Culp now. So but yeah, she liked Andy Lee. All right, so that's our kicker. And we need a long snapper. So what are you guys thinking? Are we keeping Brian Jennings? Are we putting Tabor Pepper out there? Or are we trying to
Brian Jennings?
Thank you, Corey, man.
Long time Niner, 12 years.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. You can't really mess with that. Tabor, we love you, but you gotta, you're still a little wet. We need you to stick around a little longer, a little green, right? So we need you to be red because you're a Niner. So Brian Jennings is our long snapper, and guys, we could go over the whole offensive line if you want, or we could just decide on who our gunners are, because this is kind of one of those things. The long snapper and the punter, they need to be, in unison. They need to be special, right? But then you can basically put anybody out there on the line. If you guys, if you want, we can go through it, but I kind of think we can shave that a little bit of time.
Yep.
All right. So typically you put two gunners out on both sides. Sometimes they'll put one, depending on how many blockers they want. But I normally tip the kickoff that I would like if I was the punter is I want two wide receivers, gunners on the sides. You guys okay with having two and two on the outside?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that gives us 4 options. So right now we've taken away our punter and our long snapper, and we're going to go after our gunners. This could be a similar list to like our kickoff, because there could be players on it like that. But then this could really truly be totally different random players that we don't have anyone on a list at all. So, David, who would you like to see outside?
Raheem Mostert.
Okay.
He's fast. He's
Yep.
big, and I do remember him making some nice special teams tackles too.
Okay. Korey, do you have a player that you'd like to see on the outside? It could be left side, right side. It could be inside, but we're just writing down our two. We're gonna have 4 gunners. Shout out to Aaron. So sorry, Korey. What's up, Aaron?
Hello, Aaron.
What up, Aaron?
Hope you're doing good, and really, really looking forward to seeing you again. And have to have you come by for some coffee some morning. But all right, Korey. I'm so sorry.
I'm trying to think how my man. We mentioned talked about him. We say he not talked about enough. My man Eric Davis.
Let's go.
Ooh, that's a good pick.
Okay, so wow, what a great. That's actually a really good idea. So now I need to pick one, right? I wanted to say Womack, for our kickoff. I wouldn't mind putting them on this, but because we have such a wide area, I kind of want to just, wow. Wow. Oh, man. We already said Dante Hittner. We said Goldson. They would be really great. Sherman, I like Sherman, but I don't think he would work out. He would
About
work
the guy
out.
from the early to mid '80s, Eric Wright.
Let's do the Eric Wright. Let's do Eric Wright. Eric Wright. And then let's go. Corey, do you have another one? If you don't, I'm gonna try to keep thinking too.
You're right. Yeah, that's cool.
Could be a wide receiver too. Think about Danny Gray's a gunner.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Let's go Danny Gray.
Ooh.
All right, we'll go Danny Gray. That's good. I like that. All right, so that's our kickoff, guys. We have Mostert, Eric Davis. We got Andy Lee as our kicker. Brian Jennings delivering the ball to Andy Lee. We have Eric Wright, and we have Danny Gray on our outside for our gunners. For our punt team. For a punt return. Again, I think we could go all through it. Maybe we can spend more time on breaking down our blockers. If you guys want to do that now, we can do that now. But I think punts, we could just focus on the returner if you guys want.
Yeah, just focus on returner.
Yeah. I like seeing Debo back there trying to catch the ball. I like seeing Ray back there trying to catch the ball, but Ray isn't putting out what we were hoping he would put out. Wow. We've had a lot of good returners. We've already said Dion. We've already said John Taylor.
Ted Ginn Jr. Ted Ginn Jr.
David, that's probably the best pitch. That's probably the best idea at this time right now. He's most relevant. And is he still currently the only 49er punt returner to score a touchdown in like the last 12 years I think it's been now?
I think you're right.
I think we need to
I
get that.
remember I remember Richie James return. No, that was a kickoff though. That was
Yeah.
a kickoff.
Yep, Richie James. He was. I think he did it against Dallas, and I don't know who Ted Ginn did it against. I think Ted Ginn did it against Seattle, if I'm correct. Might not be, but that's it, guys. I think we got a kickoff team. We got a punt return team. We got it. We got it. So, what do you guys think? Is there any honorable mentions that you'd want to throw out there?
Mm-hmm.
I think we pretty much covered all the good players. I mean, I don't.
Mm.
I remember them putting like T.O. out there sometimes during like the hands team. I remember them putting like J.J. Stokes out there. J.J. Stokes would have been good to have out there as well. J.J. Stokes was really tall and big. Oh man, there's a lot. Torrey Holt, we had him for Antonio Bryant. That would have been a really good. But again, some of these guys are a little bit more special, and we just want to keep them as wide receivers, and they are number one. So again, with special teams, you sometimes take that that third or fourth, maybe fifth or sixth wide receiver or option, and put them out there on special teams because if they get hurt, you can plug somebody else in. If they don't get hurt, they can be special. So, shout out to special teams, guys. Thank you for watching. We're not going anywhere yet. That's, I think, the end of our special teams segment. And hopefully we can have Korey back on here in the future. Maybe not on a Monday. Maybe we'll do it on a different day. And we will go over our offense, our defense, and our special teams. And I'll try to put everybody into our block where we have our collage of our players so we can click through them and talk about them for a few minutes. But hey, thank you guys for in the chat. We hope you guys like it. If anybody in the chat has like an honorable mention they would like to throw out there, just say it. We'll talk about them for a little bit longer. But yeah, David, man, so you don't like 5G, huh?
No, I'm absolutely hating it. Because like I was on a phone call just before the stream, and it's like they couldn't hear me. The people, well, shout out to the pool guy. My car goes in tomorrow.
All right.
Yeah, buddy. Hopefully they have it back to me relatively quick. I mean, it's just a bumper cover for heaven's sake, But so the body shop's trying to call me, and I'm trying to talk to them, and they just can't hear me. I had to enable Wi-Fi calling on my phone to call them back. So it's like I'm gonna give it a day or two and see how choppy it is, but I might just end up having to go upgrade my phone.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to do on Saturday. I was gonna go upgrade my not upgrade. I was gonna transfer my phone service to a different phone service, and over the phone in the store they told me they could do. My phone was compatible. On the phone, they said, "Oh no, your phone's not compatible." Before the conversation went too deep, I said, "Hey, maybe I should just go into the store. I'd like to see what they say." "Oh, well, we can do all this over the phone, and then you don't have to go in there or anything." I'm like, "Really? So you can like give me a new phone through the phone?" Like I'm not trying to be smart, but like, come on, like I am eventually gonna have to go in the store, right? "Oh no, we can set up everything over the phone." So they start talking to me about, and I wanted to find out how much it was going to be for me to start today, like get my phone transferred. Like, let's go through the process right now. I'm keeping my phone number. I just want a different phone service, the same one that I have my internet through. "Oh, yeah, we can do that. We can do that." Okay. An hour and a half later, I got off the phone and I was like, "Oh my God, what a waste of time. What a waste of time." They got done telling me my phone was not compatible to be transferred over. I told them, "I've already been in the store. They told me I could do this in the store. You're telling me on the phone I can't do this. But, oh, we can give you new phones, and it's only going to cost you this much for 2 new phones." And I'm sitting back and then saying, okay, my wife has a stylus. She has one of those little pin things that come out of her phone, right? And I'm like, are you telling me the phone that you're going to give her is a better phone than what she has right now? Or how about the phone I have right now? I have the cheaper phone, right? Because, happy man, happy wife, right? You give her the nicer stuff. And, I might be able to buy me like a Jake Moody jersey or something, right? Like, right? So I'm like, okay, let's go ahead and let's talk. Are you going to be able to give me a better phone than what I currently have right now? No, they want to give me those cheap phones, the ones that, are like the. I spent a little bit of money for my phone. It's not the most expensive phone, but hey, I'm like, hey, if you're not going to bring me at least to where I'm at, why am I going to take like 10 steps back? Like, I have a 4G. I don't want to step down to a 1G. Like, that's not what I'm trying to do. So, shout out to my internet provider. I'm going to come into the store and see you. Because after the phone call, I said, okay, they wanted to say, okay, we can send you the phone. It'll be there Monday afternoon. I'm like, okay, but I'm going to the Bay Area on Sunday, and I don't need my phone, but I would like to have my phone, for emergency, or if I need GPS. I know where I'm going, but it's nice to have GPS in case you really get lost, right? So how are we going to do this? Oh, well, you could keep the phone service you have on, right? And I said, okay, so the phone service I have right now is up. It's like a month-to-month contract. So if I go and pay it today, then I'm going to have phone service for another 30 days. With this phone, that's like eating food and not, like buying food and not eating it. It's like, what am I going to do? I'm going to buy, time on my phone and not use it. I'm going to use it till Sunday, and then Monday I'm going to get your phone and throw my phone away. How's it going to work? You're going to take my phone number and put it on that phone. So that phone that I paid the time for, it will be like, what? Like, I'm like, I said it. I said, if I would have walked into the store today, what's the likelihood if I would have been able to walk out of the store today with the phone? Well, there's a good possibility. There's a really good chance that you would have been able to walk out of the store today with the phone. I said that an hour and a half ago. I just wanted an idea, like, okay, is it going to be $60 I need to go in today and drop on my phone? Are you going to give me a bill later tomorrow, like next month? Am I going to get it? What's my startup cost to go in and transfer my number over to your service? Oh, yeah, we can do that. We can do that. I'm not trying to buy another phone. So now they got you, David. They got you, David.
Well, the truth be told, the phone I have is like, it don't even have a scratch on it. I've had it in an OtterBox.
Mm-hmm.
I have had to replace my screensaver. Did save it. My shout out to my job being hazardous. You just gotta be careful. But and like I said, the phone doesn't even have a scratch on it. It's perfect. So I don't know what they would give me trade in value. I don't know anything. Yeah, I'm gonna go talk to someone, and see before I'm not just gonna go, oh yeah. I don't get stars in my eyes. I'm full of skepticism when I walk in, So
Yep.
if,
Shout out to everybody, in the chat who's ever had to go and buy a phone or had to go through a similar situation. They always want you to upgrade, and you're not
oh
really
yeah, here we got this brand spanking new, just off the line. They just barely put them out for $1,500. You're like, it's a phone. That's how I look at it. It's a phone. $1,500. That's like, yeah, no thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. Like for me, like I spent $100 for my first car. $100, right? Yeah, I had to buy some stuff for it. I had to do some stuff for it, so it wasn't $100 car when I was done with it. But that's more than some people pay for their cars. Like I know people who bought $500 buckets and were driving them for a while. So like you spent $1,500 and you're walking around with that in your pocket. And I hope you have insurance. I hope you have your OtterBox. And yeah, I really
Yeah.
do, really do, because my wife, we bought her a phone, and she walked across the street the first day she had it, dropped it in the middle of the street, broken, broken. So I got on her and I said, like, what are you doing walking across the street with the phone in your hand? Like you're supposed to be paying attention to the cars in the street. She got mad. I got a fiery one. Really smart and a lot of passion and spirit. But sometimes, you say the wrong thing. it's I didn't win that argument, but I made a point, and it wasn't worth making it. That's my point now.
Yeah, see, my phone made me go buy a new phone. I think the phone companies know how to do things to your phone to make you go buy a new one. Because also my old phone wasn't working.
That's
It was
honestly what I'm thinking just happened,
it was stopped. It won't it wouldn't save the juice. I go someplace before I get home, the juice is gone. So I said, okay, I got me a new one. After I got the new one, the old one is holding the juice. It's not shooting down no more. Like it go hold 2 days before it shoot down to zero. I'm like, you mother sucker.
All
Maybe
right.
you'll spend all this money and now you want to work.
Oh wow. So a Samsung Galaxy S23, apparently that's the new shiny new stuff, is only 1,279.99. Those guys got to be kidding.
Oh man. Oh boy. Yeah. I remember the Nokia. I remember the little flip phone. Yeah, I've had the same number that I currently have. Over 10 years now. Almost 50, almost 12 years, I think. So really cool. But yeah, it's. I remember like the other day we were talking. I think to Beto, and he said he had a brick phone. One of those old Motorola phones that from the
Yep.
'90s. Yeah, I remember my dad had one of those, and yeah, that was you can plug it into the car and drive around. I was like, what? But so before we go, we're getting a lot really off topic, but that's okay because it's we already did our team pick down, and if anybody in the chat has questions, then we'll talk a little bit longer. But were either one of you guys beeper men? Either one of you have a pager?
No, I couldn't have one. My mama
I
didn't
did.
allow it. My mama wouldn't allow it because she said dope dealers carry beepers,
Yeah.
and you're not a dope dealer, and you're not a doctor. Doctors carry beepers. So my mama
It,
wouldn't
it was
let
it was required by my daughter's mom when I was with her. I had to have a pager. And if I didn't stop at a payphone, this is like way back in the day, folks. If I didn't stop and call her back, boy, was I in trouble.
me.
Yeah. My dad, he met some guys. I think they're Indian. I think they're from Pakistan, and they all had pagers. It was like the first time I ever really was around anybody with pagers. This was like '97, I think, or '96, and they were all riding around on scooters. And my dad, he was working on their scooters. Like I don't know what my dad was doing for him, but one of them had a problem with like a fender or something. My dad had tools; they didn't have tools, so my dad showed him a couple little things, and my dad ended up getting a scooter. I remember that, and we used to ride it down the street. And my dog Buddy, he would run behind us or actually beat us on the scooter. And my dad would be going like 30 miles an hour, it's really fast on the scooter, and the dog could keep up. So shout out. Maybe we weren't going that fast. I don't know, but that dog was fast. But yeah, pagers. I remember a couple people who had them. I never did. I was just a little too young for that. And I think by the time I was old enough to come into thinking about having a pager, that was like 2000, 2004. So yeah, my mom said the same thing, Corey. You're not a doctor. You can be a doctor if you want to be a doctor, but that's when you can get a pager. You're not a drug dealer, so that's what I
Well,
was.
I honestly hope this phone works out because I'm looking at about $450 if it doesn't.
Oh, jeez.
Or at least that's what I found a decent one anyway.
Yeah,
I don't need the latest and greatest. I just need something that works and has enough memory to hang.
yeah. That's what we made sure with Tony's. I think she has 64 or 32, but she's got a lot more memory than I do, and I have a lot more than I used to have. So I'm happy because I like to save those pictures. Like I sent to you the other day about the Cleveland Rams uniforms. I like showing people. Yeah, they used to be red and yellow. I like showing people that kind of stuff.
All
Oh,
those uniforms were ugly.
so I know we're all 49er fans here, but can you guys tell me what the original Oakland Raider colors were? Three colors.
Have
Okay,
no idea.
black, white, and are you guys ready? Everybody in the chat sitting down? Gold.
Mm-mm.
Really?
Yes. Yes, the original Raiders had black and gold jerseys, and they didn't stick around too long. Then they changed their helmet. Their helmet had the old style Raider logo. It was gray or silver looking, and they couldn't identify it too well. So then they changed their logo again in 1960. They just darkened it with the black. And yeah, I'll pull up the logo right now. But I get a kick out of some of the old uniforms and stuff like that. So we used to have a red helmet. I'm gonna find a really good picture one day and show everybody. But yeah, Raiders used to have big gold, and they played in Candlestick before the Niners did. So that's funny too.
Man.
I'm glad they're gone. Tom Grossi said that he's never seen more Raider fans than anywhere. That wasn't cool because there was a couple Raider fans here yesterday, but there wasn't all of them. But that was funny. Tom Grossi, he's funny. He's in Las Vegas now, and I think they're at the event now. So I'm gonna show you the original colors for the Raiders. Yeah, guys. What else you guys got going on? What else you thinking about? Um, I think we got a pretty good show here. Think we put together a pretty good team, and we'll come back and we'll put the whole team together. Like I said, we'll do that with the collages. But has either one of you heard of any current news today or anything that you guys want to talk about?
I haven't heard of anything. It's nice, quiet, dead time.
Mm-hmm.
Just the typical speculation.
Yep.
That's all we got right now. So, and I'm not one for speculation.
No.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know how well you guys can see this. Wait for the glare to drop down. That's the original Oakland Raiders.
Wow.
Yep, they used to have gold. The football right there behind the shield, the head, the pirate. That was gold, and then the football card is an actual picture of their uniforms, and they had black uniforms, and yeah, they just didn't go over like for too long. They had gold numbers. I kind of like the new uniform, the silver and black. I think that looks better for them, but again, that's the Raiders. But yeah, it's fun when you know stuff like that, and then you don't you can keep it in your back pocket, and then somebody says something, and you're like, oh, you know what, blah blah blah, and then they're like, what, like Cleveland's the Rams, not L.A., not St. Louis, and then same thing with like Arizona's the original Chicago team, not the
Yeah.
the
Yes.
Bears, no. Chicago. So that's they wear red, cardinal red, because of Chicago and the Pope and the Catholic Church, and not all because of that, but the owner then when he had bought their uniforms, he bought them. I think he got them at a discount, but they said, "What color red is that?" And he said, "That's cardinal red." So that's how the name stuck. That's how they got the name Cardinals. But all right, guys. I want to show you guys this picture I showed you, I think, yesterday, but we'll show it one more time. If anybody, had an opportunity to go to the event or they have an opportunity to donate currently or in the future, Tom Grossi did this cool event. I'm going to show you his picture. He did this for St. Jude's. And the other day, we got to meet him. I'm going to put a couple pictures up on the weekend, I think, of him, of me and Tony and the girls. But this is Tom Grossi, and he's right now. You see it says 30 for 30, so he's going to 30 NFL stadiums in 30 days. And yesterday he went to the Santa Clara Stadium for the 49ers, Levi's, and today he's heading to Las Vegas to see the Raiders. Then he's going to go to Arizona. Then he's going to the Cardinals. And what he's doing is, again, he's raising money for St. Jude's. He's doing it all out of his, heart. He didn't ask anybody to do this, for him. He or start this. He just started doing it, and he reached out to stadiums before he started going. There wasn't a lot of people who reached back to him, and as he started doing this whole month, he started making some noise. So there's only 3 events, 2 stadiums now after today that's left. And if you have an opportunity to donate, that'd be great. Again, Korey, I believe you donated after I talked to you about it.
Yep.
I just want to tell you thank you very much, because not everybody's in a position to donate. Sometimes people donate too, and then that puts them in a little bit of a bind as well. And it's important, and it's really a noble thing when people think about somebody other than themselves. And not that you just because you don't donate doesn't mean that you're not thinking of other people. That's not what I'm saying. But what we're doing right here, by just spreading the word, sometimes you might be able to pass it to somebody, a coworker or something, and say, hey, this is what somebody's doing, and then they tell maybe somebody, and then somebody donates from there. So again, St. Jude's is a great organization, great hospital, and there's other charities out there too. If you check my Twitter, I have a friend on Twitter who has a foundation going for their little young one, and if you can donate to that, that's great as well. Basically, the idea is, let's think about the future. Let's think about our kids, and let's go from there. So I don't really like swearing on YouTube and stuff like that. I don't think it's really professional and stuff. I don't think it's clean. I think there's other words that I can say. I already get tied up enough talking. My tongue gets in the way, right? But me and Tony were talking the other day, and I want to do something, and she wants to do something where we go in the future and we do some kind of charitable event. So, David, if you're interested, and Korey, you're interested, I'd like to do something here in the future where we can do something cool. My wife, she said, fuck cancer, and we can make T-shirts. So if you guys are thinking about something like that, then we could go in that direction. But shout out to everybody listening. Guys, I think we're going to get out of here. And
I saw this on, I don't know what's going on, but I saw this on Twitter. None of the Signals doing a fundraiser for Dina
yes.
Harvey. So make sure you check out Nine of Sickness. Hit him up and see what's going. You can donate, make a donation for Dina.
Yes. Thank you very much for bringing that up. Dina is one of the ladies of the Empire. She's on my wife's channel, and maybe I overlooked her just a little bit because I'm thinking mindset, thinking of the kids, but don't always just be thinking of kids either. There's other people and other things that help. But the reason I think Niner Beto is doing the fundraiser for Dina is trying to get her a headset and a microphone, so when she comes on the shows on Thursdays and stuff and talks with the other ladies, we can hear her a little bit better. And not that she can't do it herself, but sometimes people need to help each other. And she's so much passion and fire for the team. Everybody wants to keep seeing her do stuff. So please, check your notifications for Niner Beto when he does have his fundraiser. And if you can help with Dina, that'd be great as well. David, do you have anything else? I know I think it's getting a little late. I think we probably should jump off. Everybody,
well, when it comes to the fundraisers, y'all need to check Twitter. Niner Sickness Pod on Twitter, because he's raffling off stuff for Dina. So for her fundraiser, so she can get a mic, camera, and all that.
Yeah. And we'll be here again next Monday. We will have a special guest on. All our guests are special, and thank you, Korey, for coming. You're always great. You were more of our featured guest. One of our reoccurring guests. Almost a panel member. But we're gonna have who are we having on again, David? I keep on having to look at the calendar.
Damian Lee.
That's right. So make sure you guys tune in, because the show will be pretty fire. Damian Lee will bring be bringing a lot of insight from where? Dallas, Texas.
Texas. Like we're talking 10 minutes from Cowboys Stadium. Poor guy.
Poor guy. But I know the force is strong with Damian Lee. That's why he can control it and he can maintain his state over there and his being. Shout out to Palpatine. If you know, you know. And shout out to Damian Lee. Guys, appreciate you for coming. Please hit the like and subscribe and check our guys out. We all do things together. Like and subscribe to my other guys here, David McNiner and Korey Davis. We all have YouTube channels. And keep your eyes out. We'll be back on Corey's channel on Thursday, I think, together. And again, things will be happening before then. There'll probably be Corey's going to have a show, Wednesday? And then we might be back Thursday. I think that's what Korey was saying. And we'll all be back on Friday. So look for us on Friday on No Borders Sports.
Yeah, Thursday I probably won't be doing it.
Okay, yeah.
Because I have doctors.
Yep.
I'm on a surgery team.
Yep. So more than likely, Korey won't be doing a show. He'll be healing up or feeling better from his doctor's.
Well, he's got Giants trivia on Wednesday, don't you?
Yeah.
Yep. So still be doing that.
Yep. And
we got No Border Sports on Friday. Don't forget the coffee talk on Saturday and Sunday morning.
And I forgot last time. Shame on me. It's because I think she does it every other week. But this Thursday, there will be the Ladies of the Empire. And I think I want to say it's at 5:30, if I'm correct. And she usually tries to go for about an hour. But if those girls get on, you know how girls start talking. Well, I think last time her and Peachy started talking, they went like 2 hours. So, and then Joe, please check out the Rivalry 2, everybody. Joe Stevens and No Board Sports will now be doing it on Joe Stevens' show. So check him out because both of them will be collabing. Seahawks and the Niners. You guys know about the rivalry, so check them out. Guys, thank you so much. And go ahead and say go Niners. We're going to get out of here and go check out everybody else. And make sure you subscribe to them too because we got a lot of good 49 content creators out there. Thank you, guys.
Go Niners and
Go Niners.
F-Lions.
And 5G.
And 5G.